Today's reading takes us into the next phase of Jacob's journey, where settling down brings both peace and pain. We'll read from Genesis 33 minutes and 18 seconds to 35 minutes and 15 seconds, where Jacob builds an altar, faces a family crisis through the tragedy of Dinah, and ultimately returns to Bethel, the place where God first met him. There, God appears again and reaffirms the covenant, reminding Jacob of his new name, Israel. These verses are about worship, justice, restoration, and returning to God, even after pain and failure. Let's read together from the King James Version, KJV. Genesis 33 minutes and 18 seconds to 35 minutes and 15 seconds, IJV. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padanaram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar, and called it Elalo-Israel. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her, and lay with her, and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field. And Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife. And make the marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And they shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father, and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what thou shalt say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as thou shalt say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, Because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor, and Shechem Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter. And he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city. And every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, They have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me. And I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? And God said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And let us arise, and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar, and called the place El-Bethel, because their God appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah Rebekah's nurse died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Allon-Bachuth. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Paddan Aram, and blessed him. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I. And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. Let's explore Genesis 33 to 80 to 35 minutes and 15 seconds in full depth, breaking down its meaning and messages layer by layer. 1. Jacob settles and builds an altar. Genesis 33 to 18:20. Jacob returns from his long journey and settles near Shechem. He buys land and builds an altar, naming it El Elohe Israel, which means God, the God of Israel. Spiritual insight. For the first time, Jacob calls God his God, not just the God of Abraham or Isaac. He is owning his faith. Life application. There comes a moment when your faith must become personal. Not inherited, not borrowed, but yours. 2. The tragedy of Dinah and the revenge of her brothers. Genesis 34 to 1 to 31. Dinah, Jacob's daughter by Leah, goes out to visit the women of the land. She is violated by Shechem, the local prince. He claims to love her and wants to marry her, but the damage is done. Jacob remains silent at first, waiting for his sons. When they hear, Simeon and Levi respond with fury. Shechem and his father offer marriage and propose to unite their peoples with Jacob's family. Jacob's sons deceive them, requiring every male to be circumcised. On the third day, while the men are in pain, Simeon and Levi attack and kill every male in the city. They take Dinah back and plunder everything. Jacob is horrified, not because of the justice, but because of the reputation and danger it brings. He fears retaliation. Spiritual insight. This is one of the darkest events in Jacob's family. There is no clear hero, only a reminder that violence begets violence, and revenge brings consequences. Life application. Injustice hurts deeply, and anger is natural, but unchecked anger leads to sin. God's justice is perfect. Ours is not. 3. God calls Jacob back to Bethel. Genesis 35, 1-5. After this chaos, God speaks, "Go up to Bethel and build an altar." It's a call to return to the place where God first met Jacob in his time of fear and running. Jacob responds by purifying his household. He tells them to give up all foreign gods, to wash and change clothes, an act of spiritual renewal. They bury the idols under a tree, a powerful symbol of leaving behind old ways. As they travel, the fear of God falls on nearby cities, and no one dares attack them. Spiritual insight. Jacob doesn't fix the past by force, he responds in obedience. And God provides protection, even without Jacob asking. Life application. After failure or pain, God doesn't abandon you. He calls you back to where you first found Him. That's where healing begins. 4. Jacob builds an altar at Bethel. Genesis 35, 6-8. Jacob arrives in Bethel and builds an altar, calling the place El Bethel, the God of the house of God. Worship becomes central again. Jacob is returning to the heart of his calling, not just physically, but spiritually. Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, dies. Here a note that marks transition. The old generation is fading. The promise is now Jacob's to carry. 5. God appears again and reaffirms the covenant. Genesis 35, 9-15. God appears once more and repeats the name change. Your name is no longer Jacob, but Israel. He reaffirms the same covenant he made to Abraham and Isaac. Be fruitful and multiply. Nations and kings will come from you. The land is yours and your descendants. Jacob sets up a pillar, pours a drink offering, and anoints it with oil. This is sacred territory. Spiritual insight. God reminds Jacob of who he really is, not a deceiver, but a man with purpose. The reaffirmation comes after pain, not perfection. Life application. Sometimes we forget our identity in God after trauma, but He never forgets. He repeats the promise, even when we fail. Key lessons. God wants your faith to be personal and public. Even in tragedy, He offers a way back to Himself. Unchecked anger, even with cause, can lead to great destruction. Obedience after failure opens the door for healing and protection. God doesn't replace His promises, He reaffirms them. You are not who your past says you are. You are who God says you are, chosen, renamed, and restored. This passage shows us that God's promises are stronger than our chaos. Even after heartbreak, deception, and fear, He calls us to return to worship, to remember, and to walk forward again with Him. Thank you for joining us in this powerful and emotional part of Jacob's story. We've witnessed both heartbreak and holiness, the tragedy of Dinah, the anger of her brothers, and the consequences that followed. Yet, even in the aftermath, God's voice breaks through, calling Jacob back to Bethel, to remembrance, to worship, and to the promise. And there, in that sacred place, God reaffirms what He already declared. You are no longer Jacob, you are Israel. This moment reminds us that no matter how broken the journey has been, God is still writing your story. If this message spoke to you, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more deep Bible studies, weekly prayer videos, and uplifting spiritual content that brings you closer to the heart of God. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a word of encouragement. If you're going through a season of chaos or pain, and you need prayer, leave us a comment or send us a message. We would be honored to pray for you and your family. All Bible verses used in this video are quoted from the King James Version KJV, which is in the public domain and freely available for use. Our commentary, explanations, and additional content provided are original and intended for educational, inspirational, and devotional purposes. Please note, all interpretations, explanations, and commentary reflect exclusively our channel's perspective. You can always return to Bethel, to the God who met you there the first time and who's still waiting to meet you again.